Your baby's NICU journey may seem daunting, and being your baby's advocate is one of the most important roles you'll play. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There may be challenges along the way, but our babies can't speak for themselves, so we have to stand in the gap for them and be their voice, protector, and champion. Hi friend, I'm Alexis. I'm a NICU grad mom. In this video, we'll explore how you can effectively communicate with your baby's healthcare team, ask questions, and advocate for your baby's best interests. We'll also cover some of the challenges you may face when advocating for your preemie and ways to overcome them. Advocating for your premature baby is both an art and a science. There's so much information you don't know, and you may even feel behind. But there's something you have that the medical team doesn't, and that's a parent's intuition. It's something that's hard to describe. It's an inner knowing, and that's the art. The science, well, that's the part that we're going to cover today. So first, how do you advocate for your baby? Building an open and honest relationship with your baby's medical team is essential. I definitely recommend this because it makes it easier for you to share your concerns, ask questions, and express your wishes. Sometimes it's hard to have difficult conversations, but when you get to know someone on a person-to-person level, it makes it just a little bit easier. Next, I would learn as much as you're able, and I do emphasize as much as you're able. There will be times where you have to make an immediate decision without much time to research or ask as many questions as you'd like. Sometimes you have to make a decision based on the information that's in front of you and what your gut is telling you. In this case, actively listen to what the healthcare team is telling you and ask them questions. Make the best decision that you can in that moment, and give yourself grace afterwards. Listen, I'm a researcher, and there have been many of times where I could not make a decision that I normally would have with the amount of research that I like to do. But based on the levels of risk and information that was in front of us, we had to make the best decision in that moment. There was no time to research. When you have a moment, not in those rushed moments, but when you have a second, educate yourself on your baby's condition, treatment plan, and the potential challenges. Knowledge empowers you to make informed decisions. So when you have the time, read the books, papers, and articles. Get as much knowledge as you can. I'm going to include a link to some helpful resources down below that will help you get started. Don't hesitate to ask questions, even if they may seem small. My husband used to ask so many questions, but looking back, I'm grateful he did because there were so many questions that I wouldn't have even thought to ask, but he did. Sometimes we would notice that a doctor wouldn't explain something, or maybe it was something really small. But for us as new NICU parents, this is a whole new world. Asking questions is such a powerful way to advocate for your baby's needs and stay informed. And if you don't understand an answer or need more information, don't hesitate to ask for clarification or more details. We had daily meetings or phone calls with some of the doctors on our baby's team. So one of the things that I did was write down all of the questions that came up in my notes app that day, so that when the meeting came, I remembered to ask. On days that I didn't write anything down, I regretted it because I'd forgotten to ask the question. Things move so quickly in the NICU, so it's easy to forget to ask the questions that are burning inside of you. If you don't have daily meetings or calls with your neonatologist or any doctors on your baby's team, ask if they can start providing regular updates on your baby's status and any upcoming procedures and changes in care. Be pleasantly persistent. Advocacy often requires persistence. If you believe something isn't right, say something. Don't give up if you don't get the answers you need. Now, this can get sticky if you don't agree with your baby's healthcare team. So we'll review a little later on how you can overcome these challenges. But I want you to remember to be as pleasant and respectful as you're able. Listen, when something isn't right and it's about your child, I know it can be hard to remain calm. Trust me, I know that it can be hard to remain calm. So let's get into the challenges and how to overcome them. The NICU is a highly emotionally charged environment, so there are going to be challenges that parents face when advocating for their premature babies. Here are a few I experienced and watch other NICU families experience as well. The first is not meshing well with a team member on your baby's healthcare team. Listen, even on a normal day, we aren't expected to like everyone that comes along our path. The same is true for the NICU. I would say especially for the NICU because we as parents, the nurses, the doctors, the therapists, and so on, none of us picked each other. So there may be some staff that you love, like, don't know how to feel about, and just flat out don't like, and that's okay. Another challenge is feeling all of the emotions. Listen, when you're in the NICU, there's so much happening, and there's a lot of emotions that come up. One of those feelings is intimidation. The medical team may seem like they know more about your baby than you do. You've been studying and reading about how to care for a full-term baby. And on top of all of the things that's happening, you may feel intimidated by how much you don't know. You also may feel overwhelmed. Again, there's a lot of noise and things happening and a lot of doctors talking medical speak, and it's maybe even hard to know where to start learning. You may also feel scared. Fear of making the wrong decision or second-guessing yourself or not being able to be as present as you want. I know that every parent can't be present in the NICU around the clock for various reasons. So, a lot of these challenges and even more that I didn't list can make it difficult to advocate for your baby in one way or another. So let's talk about overcoming those challenges. There are a few ways that you can overcome the challenges of advocating for your premature baby. The first is, and I know this might sound odd, but taking care of yourself. Make sure you're getting enough sleep and eating healthy foods. I know, you're probably tired of hearing that. I heard that a lot while being in the NICU. But taking care of yourselves enables you to be a better advocate for your baby. Don't be like me and end up in the ER. Another way you can overcome these challenges is by escalating until you're heard. If you don't feel like you are being heard by your medical team or you're struggling to advocate for your baby, you can always get help from the charge nurse, a social worker, or even a guest relations advocate. You can even request a nurse to be placed on the no list or the primary list, meaning if you're not comfortable with the nurse, you can request that they not be put on your baby's service. Another way you can overcome these challenges is by implementing virtual updates. If you can't be physically present, consider virtual updates or meetings with your healthcare team. Technology in this sense can help bridge that gap. Another way you can overcome these challenges is by getting support. You can talk to NICU support groups or fellow NICU parents and bounce ideas off with them on how to communicate with your baby's healthcare team. You can also talk about experiences they went through and how they handled or navigated difficult scenarios. You can also reach out to a counselor or a therapist and figure out how you can communicate with your baby's healthcare team to your comfort level. And these are just a few ways that you can overcome some of the challenges that you face when advocating for your baby in the NICU. I know that advocating can be really, really hard, and I understand this challenge, but I know that you'll be able to overcome these challenges and be the best advocate that you can for your baby. Before we go, here's today's tiny treasure. The NICU is emotionally draining, and a part of being an advocate for your baby also entails being an advocate for yourself. So it's important to take care of yourself and really get the rest that you need so you can show up fully and be fully present for your child when it's needed. If you have any experience or your own tips on advocacy, please share them in the comments below. Your insights can inspire and support others on this journey. Don't forget to subscribe for more resources on the NICU journey. Until next time, you are your baby's advocate. You know what's best for them. Go with your gut and give yourself grace in this journey.